Hi, obviously I'm not an artist. In this video I'll be discussing and displaying HeroQuest and its minis and some alternative stand-ins. HeroQuest is a board game that was originally developed by Milton Bradley and Games Workshop from 1989 to 1992. Then after a long hiatus it got a remake in 2021 by Hasbro. I have the remake thankfully, as the original miniatures are quite derpy and obviously I'm not an artist and don't possess the skill to give them even a decent paint job. In HeroQuest, you play one or more of the heroes, which in the remake are the male barbarian, female elf, male dwarf, and the male wizard. I felt that the four heroes could be gender swapped using D&D proxy miniatures, therefore giving everyone in my gaming circles the ability to pick from a wider range of characters. The miniatures are made from a softer red polymer than standard GW models, and also are far less detailed, similar to the Goonies minis. See vlog number 3. And similar to the Goonies, I use contrast paint throughout the process. Let's begin with looking at the Barbarian. Nice swing there, Arnold. The Barbarian is probably the most detailed and was the most fun to paint. This mini allowed me to paint flesh tones, which isn't something I do a lot, as the majority of the minis I paint daily are covered in power armor or a vehicle with armor plating, usually red. Starting with a base coat of Bugman's Glow, then Reichland Flesh Shade, followed by layer with Cadian Flesh Tone. Leathers and furs were completed by Dry Knot Bark and Rycloth Flesh. Moving on to the elf. Nice swing there, Evangeline. The under armour and cloak were painted with Leviathan blue contrast, and the armour was Bedlelsha. The mini has small vials modelled to the belt, and glass is something I don't have a lot of experience painting, but the process is interesting with acrylics. I do have 2 Space Marine Apothecaries to paint at some point, so I'll get a chance to practice glass effects on them. Next up, the dwarf. Nice swing there, John. So you may have noticed that I have tried to stick close to the box art, and the dwarf is no exception. Retributor armor, which is my go-to for gold, and one of my favourites, Screamer Pink. I use this a lot on purity seals on inventory and characters for 40k. These are like, well, rosettes. I am disappointed with the jewel encrusted axe, as the jewels have not been layered correctly, but rather painted with a high pigmented acrylic. And the final hero is the wizard. Nice, whatever that is you're doing there, Merlin. I really don't like this mini at all, the sculpt and the colour scheme, and I think because of this I didn't try very hard. I haven't got a lot to add to this really, it's just a load of colours. I suppose I could have attempted the star map on the tunic. Moving on to some additional minis, we have another Barbarian, this time from Nozlar's Marvellous Miniatures. Now these are a 2-pack blister and made from resin. These are traditionally used in games of D&D. I use the same colours as the other Barbarian and trying to keep a consistent look between minis. They also share a tactical rock in common. The alternative Elf mini is a good looking model. I personally get strong Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher vibes, specifically his look from the Netflix show. This again is a Nozlar product. There has in recent time been a school of thought that fantasy dwarfs all have beards. Thanks, Aragon. However, these minis from WizKids did not come with a sculpted beard, and being a mini, and obviously I'm not an artist, the small canvas seemed impossible to paint one on. The alternative wizard sculpt is considerably better than the original HeroQuest mini, with bone/chitin pauldrons and a gorget. I enjoyed painting this using Rycloth Flesh, Agrax Eggshade and White Scar as a highlight. And that's it, 8 minis that can be used in the board game HeroQuest. It's really fun and mission based, so it doesn't have the time sink like 40k. I also believe it has expansions as well. The barrier to entry is easy, I highly recommend it. Thanks, like, comment and subscribe if you want to continue with me on my crusade to collect, construct and create.